Little people, big dreams. TM. With fun digital activities. I can champion change. Emmeline Pankhurst, Wilma Mankiller. You're about to meet two of the world's greatest champions for change. Both had their own hopes, fears, joys, and challenges, and their own unique dream. Their stories show that if you follow your own dream and believe in yourself, you can do anything. Little people, big dreams. TM. I can champion change. Emmeline Pankhurst. Written by Elizabeth Kaiser. Illustrated by Anna Sanfilippo. Emmeline was a little girl from England who loved to read stories about brave heroes who fought for others. She dreamed about who she might become. But at the time Emmeline was growing up, girls didn't have many choices. One night, she heard her father say that it was too bad she wasn't a boy. She wasn't encouraged to go to university or get a job, and she couldn't vote like her brothers. Emily didn't understand why. She began to read about women's rights and begged her mother to bring her to a meeting so she could learn more. There, she heard that women in England, like in many other countries, were treated unfairly. In order to change things, they needed the right to vote. As soon as Emmeline finished school, she began working for women's rights. She fell in love with a lawyer named Richard. They got married and worked side by side to help women win the right to vote. But for years, nothing changed. When Richard died, Emmeline had to work hard to support her family, but she didn't stop her battle for women's rights. Soon, her daughters joined in and convinced her to stop following the rules and take action. Emmeline and her daughters became the leaders of a new group of women that people called suffragettes. They spoke out on street corners and marched in cities. They interrupted meetings and chained themselves to railings. When the government tried to stop them, they fought harder. Some suffragettes were even arrested. But more and more women joined Emmeline's group. They were braver than anyone had imagined. Emmeline traveled to the USA to speak. She vowed to keep fighting until all women were free to do the same things as men. When war broke out across Europe, lots of men went off to fight. Suffragettes took over jobs that only men had done before. They were stronger than anyone had believed. After the war, Emmeline's dream came true. Women finally started to get the right to vote. By fighting for others, she became what no one thought a little girl could be: a hero. Little people, big dreams. TM. I can champion change. Wilma Mankiller. Written by Maria Isabel Sanchez Vergara. Illustrated by Alexandra Bowman. Once there was a thoughtful girl called Wilma. She was a proud citizen of the Cherokee Nation and lived in Oklahoma, USA. Her people had lived in America for thousands of years before European settlers arrived and took their land. Wilma's ancestors were forced to leave their homes and walk to new land set aside them. The journey was so hard that it's still called the Trail of Tears. Things got better But life was still tough for Wilma's family. One day, the government persuaded them to leave their land and moved to San Francisco, the big city. Wilma was leaving not just her friends behind, but her roots too. It was her own trail of tears. Wilma and her siblings were the only Native Americans at her new school. Sadly, many students made fun of their last name. After high school, Wilma dreamed of making a difference in her community. She protested about the government's mistreatment of Native Americans. You are now a land. She also decided to start taking night classes at university, and then used all she had learned to help young Native American students in her community. Back in Oklahoma, Wilma married Charlie, a fellow Cherokee. She got a job with the Cherokee Nation and worked hard to improve the lives of her people. Later, she became the tribe's principal chief and its first ever female leader. She led the Cherokee Nation for 10 years. And the whole Cherokee Nation will forever remember Wilma, the girl who knew that the people most respected are those so outsiders. Glossary. Women's rights. The rights and freedoms of women and rights. Right to vote. The right to help choose which people should lead the government. Cherokee Nation. The largest Native American tribe in the new USA. Settlers. People who moved to live in a new place or country. Ancestors. All the people in your family from long ago. For example, your grandparents' parents and their parents before them. Quarto. Francis Lincoln children's books. Little people, big dreams. TM. I can champion change. Discover the lives of outstanding people, from designers and artists to scientists. All of them achieved incredible things, yet each began life as a child with a dream. Read about two of the world's greatest champions for change. From Emmeline's campaign for votes for women to Wilma's fight for Native American rights, both had their own unique dream. www.littlepeoplebigdreams.com. Happy Meal readers. 3+ AP-GB.